C4 onto the window, leaves just one player, but not for very long.
Heroic's the best in the EU currently. A lot of casters don't believe that to be true. I spoke with Jack about it, as I mentioned earlier. He thinks Wolves is the best team in Europe. I don't know if I agree. I haven't seen much this season. I didn't watch that much last season. But I feel like EU is in a really weird spot because Heroic internationally are very weak. Or they just had a really bad time at the Charlotte Major, perhaps. G2 is not what we expected. BDS has fallen kind of off. If Wolves is the best team we have in Europe, with how inconsistent they play, then Europe is in a bad spot. And that's kind of what Europe's missing, I feel like. We're missing like this stable 2 or 3 teams that can kind of carry the region internationally. Like we used to have G2 Empire and even BDS at certain intervals, kind of like always placing top 8, top 4, maybe making grand finals. Right now, I could not tell you a single European team that I can comfortably predict going top 4 at any event, internationally speaking. I cannot. I literally can't. But I could guess TSM, Dark Zero, Oxygen. Like, I can guess half the NAL teams or predict them rather to go top 4 with comfort. That's kind of weird to think about because it's always been different. NA's always had their stable teams, but they've never like consistently like gone very far besides TSM in like more recent history with like invitationals and stuff. Because it's been like SSG was good for one tournament, and before that we had like EG popping off once or twice. At minors we had like Cloud9, etc. Well, we've never seen like NA just like dominate the last couple of years, until of course now. Right now they're the best region probably. SSG is really seems to struggle from the same issue of G2 where Rise finds 2 vertical kills. Jesus. SSG and G2 has like the same issue in my eyes. They lack a leader. When Fabian and I left G2 and when Troy left SSG, those teams never recovered, in my opinion. Obviously the meta is also changing, but leadership is something that's very undervalued to a degree. Rise 11-3 now, by the way, in 8 rounds. Having a great game. A little bit lucky with that double, but it's pretty good.
Those hatches are soft. You've kind of got them open in a couple of places as well. There's a game that is otherwise.
I'm not sure what the G2 Prano situation is, because Prano and Rogue was seemingly a pretty good player. That's a good trade. Prano in G2 is like stealing salaries. Like he's a paycheck stealer. He literally doesn't know how to plant. Doesn't drone. I don't know what I don't know what the difference is. I have no idea. But a lot of people thought Prano to G2 was like a really good move. And it seemed to be a good move, but it just isn't. I don't know. The thing is, it's always hard to gauge, because let's say you're an IGL, let's say Prano's the IGL, and then like no one listens to him, no one respects him. Then like technically Prano suffers, but it's not Prano's fault, you know? Because that's happened before, even when me and Fabian were in a team together. We had a DreamHack Valencia, I want to say, where Fabian and I got into a big argument. And Fabian was like, well, fuck you, I just won't IGL anymore. You fucking do it. And then I did it. And I was IGL at the roam clear, and I suck at roam clearing. And then I was like, fuck it, Fabian, you fucking IGL, you dumbass. And then he IGL'd the plant, and he sucks at the IGL the plant, because like we always shared that role. And then we realized that we need to do it together, otherwise we're not going to win anything. So sometimes, like, if there's no respect to the IGL, then if they don't listen, it's hard. The only issue is that when you watch G2 play, it looks like Prano is the problem, because he like plants the wrong spot, makes the wrong decision, but it's not as simple as that, because like we also see other members of G2 kind of like throwing their head in the bin and just doing ridiculous, stupid stuff. And I don't know if it's like a coaching issue, or an IGL issue, or a leadership issue, or a player issue. Like Doki playing Hibana on Bank, and like crouch walk on the map and dies on a basement attack, and it's like now you can't breach any of the hatches. It's like, is that happening because Doki's an idiot, or Shaz is an idiot, or Prano's an idiot? I don't know. Because it could be any of them. It could be any person saying or not saying something. But I will not believe that Shaz doesn't know that those are bad ideas. Because Shaz has coached the best team in the world for like their entirety of their career. Surely he knows that Hibana crouch working on bank basement attack and just dies with no drone is a bad play. Like, of course he knows, right? Like, there's... You don't not know that. Hear me out. Citizen, Fabian, Elmau, Virtue, Leon, Gates, God roster. The only issue with playing with people like Citizen, Elmau, and I don't think Leon gets anymore, is that they require a lot of freedom in their play. Like, Citizen's biggest weakness as a player is that he's good. Because Citizen, to be good, requires a lot of freedom. He needs to play the right operators that he wants to play. He needs to be able to go into the right position that he wants to play. If I say, Citizen, play glass, come with me. Citizen goes, that's not gonna work. Because like he needs to do his thing, right? So while Citizen is like a really good player, one of the best players in the game, he also takes up so much like resources or space on your team because of that. And the issue that G2 might be having right now is that a lot of players are like that. So you're playing around everybody individually instead of playing like around Citizen with 4 members. Like when I play Monty for G2, we play around me, and then we have 4 people. And G2 doesn't play around Citizen, they're just trying to enable all 4 individual members. It's kind of hard that way. Because Doki's also like that. Elamau's kind of like that. They all need freedom and space. It's a really good executive from Wolves. What change would I make to revive BDS? I would change the IGL, which is a limb. I would kick a limb, get some other French IGL player, because I don't think you're gonna find better players with BDS, but you need to change something drastically. And the easiest way to make a drastic change is to change the IGL. I don't know if it's gonna actually solve anything, but that's what I would that's what I would do if I could. A lot of teams could benefit from that though. As more veterans retire, we get more like less and less experienced leaders, IGLs, etc. And there's not a whole lot of up-and-coming players that are like IGLs or like smart players. Like all the new players in NAL, or majority of them, they're all gunners. Majority of new EUL people are all gunners too. Like you just, you know, you shoot well, you play well, but you're not like a leadership role or person. We had 2 IGLs, my Miko. What we did with me and Fabian is... The simplest way to explain is that Fabian would IGL from now until 1 minute 30. So half the round. And then I would IGL the last 1 minute 30. That's pretty much what Fabian and I did. In more detail, Fabian would IGL the roam clear, and we would share the ideas in like prep phase about what we should do. And then once we agree on what to do, or once we like somebody says something, Fabian would IGL the roam clear and map control. And then once we get to like the stage 2 and stage 3 of a round, which is like set up and execute, I would IGL because I was really good at that. And Fabian was bad at IGLing what I was good at, and I was bad at IGLing what Fabian was good at. So we worked really well together by sharing that role.